What is organization? Formal organization. Top level management. Who will actually do it? The top level management, he or she, they decide what the culture of the organization should be. The managers need to know when the people need to be formal and when the people need to be informal. If they would have taken it in a positive way, the success is there because it is what? It is faster spread. The success is there. But if they take it in a negative, what happens? They will never be successful. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Business Studies in Vidyashram PU College, the Temple of Excellence. Yes, we have come to the last session of organizing. As you all know that the sixth session, which is the last session of organizing of the fifth chapter, what exactly I'm gonna teach you, you will be like surprised that sir, everything is done. What is the last topic? The last topic is how formal you people are, whether you are formal or informal. That is what this chapter's the last session is all about. We have this topic called formal organization. What is organization? What is organizing? There is totally differences, right? Organizing is different. Organization is different. What is organizing? Bringing together three of the resources. Which one? Three of the resources. Physical resource, financial resource and manpower planning. All these resources should actually come together. Why it should come together? So that what happens is we can achieve the organizational goal. Organizational goal, that is the company, the firm, the industry, the business. All those goals we can actually accomplish. Here I have come to the formal organization. What is this formal word? Sir, don't be very formal, be informal. Usually we actually speak, right? What is that formal? That is actually a design, a structure. What is it? It's a design and it's a structure. Who designs it? Who structures it? The top level management. Who will actually do it? The top level management, he or she, they decide what the culture of the organization should be. It should be like a friendly culture, or it should be like disciplined way. It should be a hierarchical way. That is what is called the structure. So we'll know what exactly it is. Formal organization refers to the organization structure. What is it? Structure. What are the structures of organization? Divisional structure. In the last sessions we actually understood what is the structure of organization. That is what? Division structure or the functional structure. That is what it is, right? Here we have something called, which is design. Designed by whom? Designed by whom? This person who is in the top level, designed by that person. Designed by the management to accomplish a particular task. That is what? The objective. Here if you go with it, if it comes to the 2-mark question, how you are supposed to write? It specifies clearly what it says. It specifies clearly. Now who should do what? It specifies clearly. Now who need to actually go here? It actually goes with what? It is all specified. Who should do what? Everything is actually what? It's a structure and it is designed by whom? By the top level management. Clearly the boundaries of authority and responsibility. Please understand where the authority flows. The authority flows from top to bottom. The authority, right? Here the authority is there. The authority flows from top to bottom. Where the responsibility goes, right? The responsibility is like this. From bottom, the responsibility, here it goes. From bottom to top it goes. That is what the structure is all about. And the structure is formal organization. And here, systematic coordination among various activities to achieve organizational goal. That is the objective. Now objective is also set by whom? By the top level management. So you have something called advantage and the disadvantages of the formal organization. What are the advantage? What are the disadvantage? I told you in the previous sessions, right? When you write advantage, you are supposed to only quote the positive one. And when you are right about the disadvantage, you are supposed to quote the negative one, right? That is what we have done here. Now in the advantage, what exactly it is? See, what is this formal structure is? Formal organization is, you have a managing director, you have people under him, and that people need to actually be responsible and accountable. The person who's in the top should be what? He has the authority, he has the command, he has the concentration of power, everything is there. In the previous one, if you have not understood about centralization, decentralization, you have not watched the session, please go, the link is actually given below. You are supposed to just type AC Sir and Vidyashram, and then what you will get? You will get all the sessions of business studies, right? Here what we need to understand is, in this structure, what happens is discipline is there. What is that? Discipline is there. People are responsible, people are accountable, and there is one person who is always there on the top, who is actually monitoring them, supervising them. So what is the advantage of it? Let's go with it. It is easier to fix responsibility. That means who is responsible for that particular act. Easy to fix. That is, this is a person who is responsible. So here you will get it. Who is doing good, who is not doing good, everything you will understand here. Next, there is no ambiguity. That means there is no problem at all. The reason why there is no ambiguity, in the role that each member has to play, has duties are specified. That means I cannot say that, sir, this is not my duty, it is not assigned to me. In a formal organization, everybody are answerable. The reason is, everything is what? Formal, in the way it is like properly allocation of all the duties. Next, unity of command. What is this unity of command? Henry Fayol 14 principle, we have heard about unity of command. That means one person, right? Each employee should have one boss. That one boss will take care of everybody. He is the supervisor. He is what? The superior. Unity of command is maintained through an established chain of command. So MD is there, marketing, HR. In marketing, people are there. So what exactly it is? It is like proper allocation of people, the right wing and the left wing. Here, unity of command is there. It leads to effective accomplishment of goals. See, when everybody are responsible and they are doing their duties, what exactly happens? What exactly happens? That is, the objective is achieved, the goal is achieved. The reason is, they are what? Their concentration will never get deviated because they are responsible, because somebody is actually watching them, supervising them. The next thing is, provides stability in the organization. That means here you will not be a kiddo, you will not be a kiddish, you know your limits, what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And here you will not lose your valuable asset, that is what? Time. You will not waste your time, because there is a 360-degree, a person is there who will actually see whether you are working or you are not, whether you are efficient or you are wasting your time. That is where F.W. Taylor is also will pitch in. That is what? Piece wage rate system. If you work, you get money. You don't work, you don't get money. That is what happens in the formal organization. Now, let's go with the bane. That is the demerit of formal organization. The demerit is not for the people who are efficient. This is for the people who are not efficient. It's a demerit, because we'll learn what exactly it is. Poor organization practice. Now the boss who was there, who was a superior, if he has a poor kind of organization practice, what happens is, may not provide adequate recognition to creative talent. Now there are many MNC companies, there are many companies where the manager himself is not eligible to be a manager, but still for like his luck or some partiality or politics, whatever happens, right, he is in the managerial role. Now people who are a fresher, who are really creative and they are innovative than him, what happens is, because of his stupidity, now these people creativity will be what? Suppressed. Next, the formal communication may lead to procedural delays. Now what happens? Formal, what exactly it is? I told you A, B, B dash, C, C dash. Please, you need to go back to my 5th session and then understand what exactly delegation, decentralization, centralization is. You understand. Guys, in the structure also, there are like too many changes are there. The unity of command chain is there, right? Too many changes. If supposingly you have A, B, C, D. D should take some decision. What he should do? He should ask the permission from C to B, B to A. Then A will tell yes. Then B will tell yes. Then C will tell yes. That is what happens. Later the D will actually go with it. That is where this formal there is something called disadvantage. What exactly it is? The formal organization does not provide a complete picture of how an organization should work. That is what happens here. Coming here, it is difficult to understand all human relationship. It is difficult to understand all human relationship in the sense, what is it? The human relationship in an enterprise has it placed more emphasis on structure. That means here the bonding is not too much. You will not know what the employees are, you will not know what the colleagues are, what are their interests. The reason is what? It is what? Very difficult, because the human relationship you will not understand, because it is all like mechanism. You will come, you will work, you will go. There is nothing called informal way. The last one here is established chain of command has to be followed. See, there is a merit, the command should be followed, but here also there are few people who don't go with this established command, right? Example I'll give you. In this formal, what happens is, now I have done my MBA. Actually, I have done my MBA. Now the minute I have done my MBA, and I'll go and I'll be a manager of a company or assistant manager of a company. Now understand, a person who was working in that company for 20 years, if he is supposed to be my subordinate, how will he feel? That a person who is like just 28 and 29, he comes and my experience is like more than 20 years and he is actually giving me command. How exactly he feels? That is what happens in the disadvantages of formal organization. Moving forward, we have one more topic, that is the totally opposite of it. What is it? Informal organization. Now this is what me and you need to understand. What is this informal organization? See, all the organization, you have formal organization as well as informal organization. Every formal organization, if it should actually be proper and it should move, they should have something called a interval wherein they should be little informal. See, in a class, like 1 hour session is there, the entire 1 hour if I only teach, what happens is you will actually go for a sleep, quick nap. That is not the problem. The real problem is you will not get the subject. The same way, if all the people who are in the formal, they are only working and they are not get entertainment, what happens is they will not work efficiently. That's why the managers need to know when the people need to be formal and when the people need to be informal. That is what informal is all about. Here what happens? Interaction. What is it? Interaction. We are not robotics, right? We are like humans. We need to interact. We are what? Social being. Interaction among people at work give rise to a network of social relationship. See, understand, that will gives you what? Hey, hi, how are you? What is your name? From where you have come? Which place you are actually? What is your food habit? Everything. When we go with it, what is it? It is actually creating what? Network of social relationship among employees, and this is called as informal organization. When you talk to a person not about the work but about him or his love or his love failure or being, whether he is married or he has a kid, whatever the small interaction, personal interaction, the kind of a personal space, when you go with it, that is called informal organization. Here what it is, informal organization emerges from within the formal organization. That means it is not somewhere it is new, it is from the formal only it will actually start. Then when people interact beyond their officially defined role. Now example, a manager comes and then he asks a newcomer, what is your name, from where you have come, okay, did you study in that college, I was an alumni. All this when he says, that is what it leads to informal structure. When people have frequently contacts, they cannot be forced into rigid formal structure. Now the manager cannot be like 24/7, he can't be only a manager, even he is a human being, right? Even he needs people to talk. Socially he is able to understand what exactly people need to know. Now what it is, that is called informal organization. Here also you have something called advantage and disadvantage. What are the advantage? What are the disadvantage? Let's go with this. Advantage, what it is? It prescribed line of communications are not followed. See, it is actually advantage. You don't need to follow with the unity of command. The chain is there. No, you don't need to. You can aram say go talk to your manager and then like, sir, I don't feel like working. I'll take a day off. Then I'll come tomorrow. I'll just finish it. Now you have something called what? Informal way. That is, you are not in a strict, rigid concept. You are free. Now the manager is treating you like what? A friend, a brother. And he understands what you are supposed to do, what you are not supposed to do. So that is what it is. Prescribed line is there, no? You don't need to follow it. Next, the informal organization lead to faster spread of information as well as quick feedback. See here you will understand. I'll go with an example, right? You can understand it better. When a faculty is there in your classroom, how you behave, and when the faculty is not there in your classroom, how you behave. That is all about the advantages. When the faculty is not there. Now understand, let me go with one more thing. A faculty is treating you as his friend, right? Now what will happen, right? Everything is like cool. You are like, wow sir, you are like a friend. And then what happens? The advantage of it, just go with it. You will learn whatever the faculty will tell because you respect him and he respects you. You love him and he loves you. When you fall in love with the faculty, you will fall in love with the subject. That is what I actually go with. It helps in fulfill the social needs of the members and allows them to find like-minded people. That is what it is. Now, even in your classroom, right? The minute you get admission for your first PU or the second PU, lateral entry or the degree, what you actually look at, you will look at that people who are like-minded. You will go and you will sit with them and then you will make friendship. That is what happens in informal organization. It gives them a sense of belongingness. What it gives? Belongingness. It contributes towards fulfillment of organizational objectives by compensating, what is the word? Compensating for inadequacy in the formal organization. Whatever in the formal organization they have not done, they'll actually get a benefit out of it. That is in informal, and they'll do it everything. See, there are many of you, you don't want people to restrict you. You don't want people to control you. The reason is you feel that I am not a person who is controlled by anybody. I will control myself. That is what. For you people, informal organization is actually good. You need to actually go with that, informal. What is a disadvantage? See, for everything, advantage is there, disadvantage is also there. What exactly it is? Information or that informal organization may become a disruptive force. Why? Too much of lenience will actually make the employee efficiency will come down. The reason is what? He has been given so much lenience. So what will happen? Disruptive force, when it spreads rumor, when all these things, the information which used to actually go here, now whatever the employee is not there, if the rumors just go, what happens? Psychologically you will go blank. You will feel that people are just talking about me. Now what it is, you don't feel like working. Now it may work against, what is it? It may work against the interest of the formal organization. See, there are few people who always take anything in a different way. They misrepresent everything. They mistake everything, right? They don't have a proper firm. That is, what am I supposed to do? The freedom is given. Lenience is given. Now, in the disadvantage, what it is? Too much is too bad. That is what happens in the disadvantage. The management may not be successful. Yes. The management will not be successful if the people are taking the lenience or the freedom in a different way. If they would have taken it in a positive way, the success is there because it is what? It is faster spread. The success is there. But if they take it in a negative, what happens? They will never be successful. It pressurizes. What it does? It pressurizes members to conform to group expectations. Now there are few people, see, I'll tell you, human being is a homogeneous or a heterogeneous. He's totally heterogeneous. I am not the way you are. You are not the way somebody is. That is what happens in informal. Everybody will not be like-minded. There are few people who think outside the box. There are few people who think inside the box. And there are few people who don't even think at all. So there is a problem for them. There can be resistance. What is the word? There can be resistance to change, which may delay or restrict growth. Right? That is what happens in the informal. That is the disadvantage of informal organization. See, everywhere you have a boon as well as you have a bane. That is what you are supposed to go with. Always take the positive from it. Whenever you take positive, don't take it too lightly and don't take anybody for granted, because even people shouldn't take you for a granted. So you should have both the combination, when you should be formal and when you should be what? Informal. Any doubts you have, you can actually contact us. That is what we do. We are only for the students. And I'll tell you students, the 5th chapter organizing is all done. The next session we have the 6th chapter, that is S for 6 and S for staffing. That is what it is. Staffing means what? Right person at a right place. You people are in a right place. Vidyashram is only for you. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you.